والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We are going to start from where we left off. I believe we left off at page 15. Should be 15, let's say. وَأَنْ يُهِبَ لِلَّهِ وَيَبْغُضَ لَهُ. That is 15. And then the next page will be, yes, on 15. Now, so, we continue. Sheikh Al-Akhdari is saying that وَيَرْضَى لَهُ وَيَرْضَى لَهُ وَيَغْضَبَ لَهُ. Now, the word ridwa, وَيَرْضَى is taken from what? From radiyah. And the masdar will be what? Radiyah is the fi'l madi, right? That is the past tense. And the masdar, the origin, the noun, will be what? Or the verb noun, eh? Ridwa or Ridwan. That's good. And the Ridwan is the origin, is the asl, is the masdar. So what is Ridwan? Ridwan is what? So when we say, we mention a companion, we say what? On the other hand, now it's taken from this. And what is the connotation of radiyallahu anhu? May Allah be pleased. So the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what? Is the Ridwan. So وَأَنْ يَرْضُ عَلَيْهِ. Now, we are talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? We say that what? يُحِبَّ لِلَّهِ وَيَبْغُضَ لِلَّهِ subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here we have وَيَرْضُ عَلَيْهِ. You have to be pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, you have to be pleased with whatever Allah is pleased with. Here is an example. There is, and you have heard several times, there are some people who try to defame and ridicule Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They say very sacrilegious, blasphemous, unprintable things about the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Something that you cannot say. Just to ridicule our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The question is, what did our Rasul alayhi wasallam do to them? He has done nothing to them, right? Out of spite, acrimony, hatred, and what have you. They say these things to degrade the integrity, the honor, and the position of alayhi salatu wasalam. My question is, are you pleased with that? No. Now, if anybody is pleased with that, then it is haram for him. Because Allah is not pleased with it, obviously. Because our Rasul is the what? Is the best of creation. And for you to despise our Rasul in that manner, definitely Allah is not pleased with him. On the contrary, what should be your response to that kind of statement? You will be what? In opposite of it, that will be what? Displeased, upset. So here he brings the next word. وَأَنْ يَغْضَبَ لَهُ. In other words, you should be upset with what Allah is upset with. Now, if you challenge our Rasul, Allah is upset with that. What do you think about a people or someone going to the assembly of people? It could be a school and then open fire on the students, killing them. What do you think of that? How do you feel? It's disgusting. It is very upsetting, very annoying, right? To say the least. So we have to have some kind of stand, position, response, and it has to be to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the statements of Sheikh Al-Akhdari. Whatever Allah is pleased with, you have to be in that line. And if Allah is upset with something, do not oppose it. You have to go with it. Now, it's a very integral part of our faith. Now, and then he says, وَيَأْمُرُ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَأْمُرُ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. So we say, what is ma'ruf here? Al-ma'ruf, anything that is good in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and under the radar of the sunnah of Rasulullah. It is ma'ruf. Even if you should smile in the face of your brother, it's what? It's ma'ruf. It's ma'ruf. Now, if you make salah, it's ma'ruf also. If you give sadaqah, it's ma'ruf. If you are walking and see something, an obstacle, like a big piece of broken bottle on the path, and then you remove it away from the path, it's what? It's ma'ruf. Now, and on the contrary, it's what? Al-munkar. Now, al-munkar, anything that also is bad. Now, anything that is bad. That is not sanctioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's also not sanctioned by Rasulullah. There's a powerful ayah in the Quran, in Surah Al-Imran, which says that وَلْتَكُنْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. Now, وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Now, so here there has to be, it's a command, there has to be a band of people among the Muslims who will stand up to invite towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then enjoin that which is right and then forbid that which is wrong. This is what we call da'wah. When you are doing this, you fall under the ambit of what? Under da'wah. That's the propagation of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, and the next paragraph, وَيَحْرُمُ عَلَى الْمُكَلَّفِ وَيَحْرُمُ عَلَى الْمُكَلَّفِ. Al-mukallaf, we say, what is the mukallaf? What's the definition of the mukallaf? Man huwa al-mukallaf? We can't hear you. Nature. No, I thought he said nature. Now, so all of us here, except this one, is not a mukallaf. This young man, but mashallah, is rewarded too. Now, we all mukallafi. Now, mukallaf. Now, he did not say al-mukallaf, but he said al-mukallaf. Any reason for that? He did not say al-mukallaf, but he said al-mukallaf. So the difference between the fatha and kisra here, what do we do with it? Excellent, the dua, right? He's the initiator of the action. Al-Mukallaf. So in the realm of Islamic law, Islamic Sharia, who is the Mukallaf? Mukallaf. Allah, Thumma, Ar-Rasul. Mukallaf. So all of us here, you are Mukallaf with Fatah, I'm also Mukallaf. So all of us in Jammu, we say what? Al-Mukallafun. So here he says, وَيَحْرُمُ عَلَى الْمُكَلَّفِ. Al-Mukallaf, it is what? Obligatory, mandatory, incumbent upon what? All of us, every Muslim who undertakes the rigors of what? Of practicing Islam is a Mukallaf. Because he has attained full puberty, and he is not under the force of lunacy. He is not insane. He is sound, full of his intellectual limbs are all operational. Then, of course, he's a mukallaf. Now, so he is saying that وَيَحْرُمُ عَلَى الْمُكَلَّفِ, it is haram, forbidden upon the mukallaf. What? Those things are following. Those issues are coming now. First, he says that وَيَحْرُمُ عَلَيْهِ الْكَذِبُ. Al-kadhibu, Eh? Lying. Lying, al-kadhib. What is lying? It's very interesting to ask what is lying. We all know what is lying, but there's a very powerful hadith which condemns lying in its entirety. For example, Rasulullah said that, إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْكَذِبِ إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْكَذِبِ. Beware, be careful of what? Lying. فَإِنَّ الْكَذِبَ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْفُجُورِ. Because kadhib, lying, leads to what? To wrongdoing. To wrongdoing, al-fujur, wrongdoing, obscenities and that kind of thing. وَإِنَّ الْفُجُورِ يَهْدِي إِلَى النَّارِ. So wrongdoings, infractions, prohibitions all lead to what? The fire. وَلَا يَزَالُ الْعَبْدُ يَكْذِبُ وَيَتَهَرَّى كَذِبْ حَتَّى يُكْتَبَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ كَذَّابًا. And the person continues to lie, keeps lying, he keeps piling up, accumulating tons and tons of lies until it is written in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as what? A liar. A liar. At this point, he is consigned to what? To the hellfire. May Allah forbid. So this is what lying can do. And people, they tell lies either intentionally or unintentionally. These are all lies. And what is worse, to tell the lie against what? Rasulullah. That's why Rasulullah said that, Man kadhiba alayya muta'amidan falyatabawa maq'adahu min an-nar. Anyone who says, tells lies, fabricates anything about me wrongfully, let him take his seat, what? In the hellfire. May Allah forbid. So, kadhib, lying, please, we should not lie. It is wrong. Now, much less to lie about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lie about the Quran, lie about our Rasulullah. Now, wal-ghiba. This, you have to spend some time on this ghiba, because it is very elusive. It is very elusive. It is frequently committed in our society. Elusive. In the first place, what is ghiba? Backbiting. What is backbiting? That's fine. Now, this is explained by Rasulullah when he was asked, An Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أتدرون ما الغيبة? Do you know what al-ghiba is? And they said that قالوا الله ورسوله أعلم. They said that Allah and the Prophet know. قال ذكرك أخاك بما يكره. ذكرك أخاك بما يكره. To mention a brother who with that which he does not approve of. Watch out. To mention him with that which he doesn't approve of. For example, if I say that brother Ibrahim is good, I've mentioned him, right? But if he comes to hear that what I'm saying about him is good, it's good, man, do you think he will be happy? Yes. So even though you mentioned him in his absence, except that what you said about him, the compliments you made about him is acceptable. Now, so it does not earn you the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said that ذِكْرُكَ أَخَاكَ بِمَا يَكْرَهُ. قالوا, they said to our Rasulullah, أَفَرَأَيْتَ إِنْ كَانَ فِي أَخِي مَا أَقُولُ إِنْ كَانَ فِي أَخِي مَا أَقُولُ. So what I'm saying, if it is right there, in what? In the brother, my brother I'm talking about, if he can identify it with that quality, what about it? قال, that's our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إن كان فيه ما تقول فقد اغتبته. If what you are saying is right to be found in him, you have backbiting him. It's part of, it's considered to be what? Backbiting. وإن لم يكن فيه فقد بهته. If it is not found, it is not true, then you have what? Slandered him. So here you have backbiting and then slandering. These are serious prohibitions against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and against creatures also, those who we backbite. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in a very powerful surah, very simple surah, one of the short surahs, it begins with Wailun likulli lumazatin lumaza. Wailun likulli lumazatin lumaza. Woe unto every slanderer and backbiter. So when Allah says woe, it means that the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reign upon anybody who slanders and then backbites. So here there's a difference between backbiting and then slandering. But backbiting, you are tearing his flesh, normally by deed. Here's the difference. Al-hams occurs by way of ishara, either you are pointing or with qawl or with what? Of statement. 2. Whereas al-lams, that is backbiting, it goes mostly with what? With al-qawl, what you say about the person. So here we are, may Allah forbid, we are talking about a person. He said so many bad things about the person, and the person, the more, when we begin to talk about him, what we are saying about him, that kind of thing, what we are doing, we are deriding him, despising him, we are committing what we call al-hams. Now, so, by action, when he appears, and then look at me, with your eyes, action. That's the guy. We didn't say it. You see what I mean? That is the guy. Do you say that? You just point or with your eye. That's right. You can do something. We do that now. Or lambs. When you may not say it that this is it. You may just sort of draw his attention either by your hand to touch him, and then you signal this is lambs. So you see, al-hams goes with the action, and then the lambs goes with the what? With the statement. Nam al-qawl. So both al-hams and then lambs, they are all forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then when you go to Surah Al-Qalam, we have this beautiful ayah. Hamazi Mashayim bin Namim. Hamazi Mashayim bin Namim. That is the person who slanders, he backbites, and then goes around slandering with calumnies and so forth and so on. Now, in Surah Al-Hujurat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a statement that is very powerful and it's very scary indeed. And he says that Ayyuhibbu ahadukum. First, before they say that Wala yaghtab ba'dukum ba'dan. Wala yaghtab ba'dukum ba'dan. None of you should backbite anyone. Don't backbite anyone. Ayyuhibbu ahadukum an yakula lahma akhihi maytan fakaritumu. Does any one of you loves to eat the flesh of what? A brother, which of course a dead brother is dead. Can we maytan fakaritumu? We don't, nobody likes that. Now, so whenever you are backbiting a person, you are slandering him, it appears as if you are eating his flesh, which we cannot do that. Now, when people, the munafiqins, they brought this slander against Aisha radiallahu anha, let us see what happened and how grave the situation was. In the surah of Nur, ayahs from 11 to 17, yes, let us pause here and then take a view of these ayahs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Inna alladhina ja'u bil ifki usbatun minkum. لا تحسبوه شرا لكم بل هو خير لكم. Those who brought the calumny, the slander against Aisha, they are a group of you. But you just consider it to be good, but not bad for you. But it's good for you, according to Allah, because Allah knows best why this happened to Aisha, none other than Aisha radiallahu anha. لكل منهم ما اكتسب من الإثم. Any one of them, لكل منهم ما اكتسب من الإثم. Any one of them who participate in the slander will have a fair share, painful penalty for participation in the slander against Aisha. وَالَّذِي تَوَلَّى كِبْرَهُ مِنْهُمْ لَهُ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. But the person who participated in the slander the most is going to have what? The greatest share of the sin, crime. It's not easy. Allah goes on to say that لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات خيرا بأنفسهم أو ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا وقالوا هذا إفك مبين. When they heard it, this is very important. When they heard it, لولا إذ سمعتموه, when they heard the slander being spread about no other person than Aisha radiallahu anha, ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا. If they should have thought or held good opinion, positive opinion about the brothers, about Aisha radiallahu anha, it would have been better for them. But what they do, opposite is the case. If they had said that this is an obvious lie, slander against Aisha, because we know that this is almost impossible to happen to Aisha, to slander her in that manner, wife of our Rasulullah. But yet people had the nerve. That's why Allah says that it is good for you, because to teach all of us, it's a serious issue without any investigation. Somebody comes to tell you a story about someone of that magnitude, of that status, and you not only believe, but you also wait your tongue in it. If they had, why didn't they bring witnesses? At least four witnesses, right? Why didn't they bring witnesses? فَإِذْ لَمْ يَأْتُوا بِشُهَدَاءَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ عِندَ اللَّهِ هُمُ الْكَاذِبُونَ. They are lies. They are lies because they didn't bring any witnesses. But yet, they were believed. And people began to talk about it. Now, وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ لَمَسَّكُمْ فِي مَا أَفَضْتُمْ فِيهِ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. Had it not been because of the favor and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a grievous penalty would have touched you for participating in the spread of slander against Aisha. It's all about backbiting and slander. And I don't know how your feelings are, but it is the worst thing, one of the worst things, worst forms of crimes that a person can commit. So here we are being warned. Now, then Allah continues to say that إِذْ تَلَقَوْنَهُ بِأَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَتَقُولُونَ بِأَفْوَاهِكُمْ مَا لَيْسَ لَكُمْ بِهِ عِلْمٌ وَتَحْسَبُونَهُ هَيِّنًا وَهُوَ عِندَ اللَّهِ عَظِيمٌ. When you just start propagating with your tongues, keep propagating, spreading the rumor about Aisha and uttering this slander, and you think it is not a triviality, it is huge in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah says, وَلَوْلَا إِذْ سَمِعْتُمُوهُ قُلْتُمْ مَا يَكُونُ لَنَا أَن نَتَكَلَّمَ بِهَذَا سُبْحَانَكَ هَذَا بُهْتَانٌ عَظِيمٌ. If also you had said that, the moment we heard it, you had said that, no, we shouldn't, it is not right for us, it is not appropriate for us to talk about such an issue. Subhanallah, glory be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a clear and manifest a huge slander against our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam because his wife is involved. Now, let us apply this to our own survival, our own life in this community or communities, because not just this community. Someone comes with an information about someone, a lie, subhanallah. You find that it tells you how some hearts needs to have some cosmetic surgery on the hearts. It appears as if like we are so happy, we are so pleased to have something being said about a brother or sister that is derogatory, that is belittling, that takes away his honor, integrity. Like we are so pleased in hearing anything happening to a brother or a sister. Exactly what happened to Aisha at the time. They were so happy. Those are the munafiqs, the hypocrites. Now, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a stern warning, never this action to be repeated. And he says that Ya'izukumullah, Allah wants you, gives you a stern warning. Allah is warning you never and by no means to go back to this kind of slander again. So here we are. Allah says that forever, it is forever, never to go back again. So the Sahabas, alhamdulillah, this ayah came and then they desisted. Now, what of we? There is no wahi coming to us. The Quran is complete, so the Quran is our constitution. The Quran is our path, it's our way of life. So, the same warning is applying to us also, that never and by no means we commit the word of slander. Then let us evaluate our own lives. How oftentimes we commit the slander or we backbite on a daily basis, as though it is nothing. You see, as though it is nothing. But in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a huge issue. So we are saying that slandering and backbiting are very serious. Why they are so serious is that not only subhanahu wa ta'ala, his rights is taken because it is infraction, it is disobedience against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also those that we slandered and when we took off their flesh, they have our rights. Those rights ought to be given to them. So assume Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven us. What of those whom we slandered? Have they forgiven us, and how do we know? So the baggage of that crime hangs on us before going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we cannot handle it. So we are saying that, brothers and sisters, let us desist, refrain from this heinous crime of slandering and then backbiting. Now, here is an issue. Kibru, the next page will be Kibru. Let us stop at Kibru first. What is Kibru? No? I'm sorry to say no. Kibru. We want to be precise. Kibru. Huh? No? No. But not really. You are on the border. No. Allahu Akbar. We can say arrogance. We can say arrogance. That's right. Arrogance. It's arrogance. Now, arrogance. You feel that you are the greatest, most superior, right? You are the greatest. Arrogance. Keep nam. So keep now, because we say Allah Kabir, Allahu Akbar, right? That is above everybody else. Now, so great. Now, think you are the greatest. May Allah forbid. So al-kibru, we say arrogance. We accept arrogance here. So you can write arrogance here. Because they are very synonymous. These prohibitions are very synonymous as they come. And you will see yourself. So you have kibru. And then wal-ujub. You see, you mentioned ujub. What do you say about ujub? No. Wal-ujub. Okay. I like it. I like that too. Conceit, self-conceitedness. Now, alojub, you feel like you admire yourself. You feel, mashallah, you walk around, there's nobody else like you. Not so. Yes. Exactly, self-righteousness. That is fine. I like that. Self-righteous. Nobody else is on the same page with you. Or to arrogate to yourself superior air. To arrogate to yourself superior air. None else. Look at you, mashallah. You are the best. I like that. What is al-ujub? It's very haram. Now, all these things we are mentioning here, they are haram. Now, if we can desist from all these things, mashallah, you may walk on the surface of the earth like angels. Well, because your accountability will be minimal. This is the law. It's the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, so we have to pay attention to this. So, well, ujub is what? To think of yourself, that vanity is part of it. Be so much impressed of yourself, giving yourself the best superiority, and so forth and so on. What follows is that warrior. Showing off, I like it, showing off, and what else? Showing off. We have tons and tons of examples, or adilla, or dalail, or proofs, evidences that condemn what? Riya. One of them is إن أخوف ما أخاف عليكم الشرك الأصغر هو رياء. نعم رياء. نعم الذين يراءون. Now, you see, so, and also one common thing is also happening to us. Sometimes we come to make salah, and then we find that sometimes we are so much impressed with our own maybe recitation of the Quran, and sometimes Shaitan has a way of deceiving us, right? Think that you want to clear your throat, maybe to say use best recitation of the Quran. Maybe to let people feel that you are the best Qari. Wallahu only Allah knows best. Now, but if this is our attitude, we have to change. We are all here to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is very good to have beautiful voice, that's fine. But if it is to show off, then it is going against you, which you don't want that to happen. Someone is very rich indeed, very rich, very resourceful. Allah has given so much of resources, and then he wants to make sadaqah, he wants to spend, and he spends for people to say that what? He is what? Most resourceful or richest. As we speak right now, there are some communities where people come to sing in public, and people bring baskets and bags of money, raw money, physical money, and begin to sprinkle on top over the singers and the dancers. It is true. It is happening as we speak right now. It is happening in a lot of communities now. So, what do you think they are doing? People, and then when some as they exhaust all the money from the bags, and then they want some more. There is more, and others also will come to spring maybe twice what this one has sprinkled. So It has become now a competition. Competing for what? Subhanallah. Competing for vanity. You see, what Allah has was mandated us, commanded us, what is imperative upon us to compete for is what? لمثل هذا فليتنافس المتنافسون. The al-khairat. يسارعون في الخيرات. This is what? But not vanity. So it tells you that the driving force here, the propeller that propels them is what? Like you said, just to show off. La samahala, may Allah forbid this unto us. So Riyah is not good. Now, so our Rasul in some of his dua, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect him against what? Riyah. Because Riyah will cause all your actions to what? Now, Allah says in the Quran, وَقَدِمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا مِنْ عَمَلٍ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. You see? Now, whatever they did, we shall be brought, and then we shall transform it, turn them into what? Like scattered what? Dust abroad. No, it's useless. It's useless. Like they did nothing at all. That is the reward of Riyah. It's not good. So here we come to Wasuma. Wasuma, you see how the words are very synonymous? Wasuma is taken from what? Samia, Nam, Sama Suma, or Sama, Nam. So Suma, how do you translate as Suma? You are on the border. I want you to be in the border, to be in the territory. You are just on the edges, on the fringes of the territory. Now, boasting, we have something here for boasting. Summa. That's right. In other words, you want reputation, right? Summa, to be heard, to be known. Now, of course, if you are famous, don't forget, Allah will make you famous. But if your intention is to be known, then we have a problem. That is summa. What's summa? Summa. To be known, so that your reputation will go far afield, to be what? Loom in the horizon, right? Summa. It is haram, summa. And it is very sad that some of us are entrapped in this, because all these issues are very delicate issues. Now, people, Tabal Insaniya, the human nature loves those things, right? Very, very well, most of the time. Now, if, for example, there is a graduation and people's names are being mentioned, if your name is not mentioned, you don't like it. You want your name to be mentioned, right? But maybe for the degree that you have earned, that is fine. But maybe there's something to it also. Now, but let it be the fact that you want to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, so we have Wasuma. It's not haram. But if your intention that you be known just like that, then it becomes haram. But if ordinarily, do you know Abu Bakr? That's right. He's known, but he did not do that for himself with the intention that, but Allah makes you know, get known. But that is what is his intention now. So if you are famous, Allah make people famous now. But if your fundamental intention, and Allah judges all our actions by our intentions, now Allah knows best who is doing what now. But the warning here is that we should never make our intention to be known. That's fine now, because if your intention, nobody knows. I don't know what is in your mind. You doesn't know what's in my mind either. But if we don't teach this, it means that maybe we may have this disease in us. But yes, the bottom line is that we should clarify our intentions, purify all our intentions, to be free from all these. These are all destructive elements that may hinder our progress in the spiritual life that we are leading. والحسد والحسد jealousy or envy. Both of them are very good. There's a powerful hadith about hasad. Who can remember? Say it in English. That's right. It eats. That's in Al Hasad. Yakul thawab kama takul nar al khashya. Damn, it's true. It raises your deeds just as the fire consumes the firewood. If you put firewood into a furnace, what happens? That's right. So hasad. In al hasad yakul hasanat. Al hasad yakul al hasanat kama takul anar al khashya. So the more you get hasad, you get envious, the more your good deeds, your hasanat are just going away. Now, and also you find that the very first crime committed on earth, was what? Al-Qatl. Among the Bani Adam, right? Among the Adam, what Al-Qatl, among the children of Adam, because Adam was worshiping Allah very well, so he started with him, and he had two sons. There's two sons, and what happened? And then, you are kicking Abel. That's right. Why? Because of jealousy or hasad. You can see that because of hasad. Now, so when Qabil killed Abil. Because what? Both of them, فَقَرَبَ قُرْبَانًا, they offered the sacrifice. فَتُقُوبِلَ مِنْ أَحَدِهِمَا وَلَمْ يُتَقَبَّلْ مِنْ الْآخَرِ قَالَ لَأَقْتُلَنَّكَ قَالَ إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. So the one killed, his sacrifice was accepted, and the killers was that his sacrifice was not accepted. So he was enraged because he became envious. He was pushed by that jealousy and envy to kill his own brother, subhanallah, to commit that heinous crime of killing, murder, the first murder. But it was propelled and pushed and driven by hasad. No. So hasad, subhanallah. And what is hasad? How does it? What is the scenario of hasad? The scenario. Now you have known hasad. We have defined hasad. We have given very powerful hadiths and then the Quran about to support hasad, how it originates. But what is the scenario? The scenario maybe, subhanallah, someone is gifted with a lot of money. And a lot of people think they need money these days. If you don't have money, you can't drive your car, right? No. So if somebody has a lot of money, now we can show hasad. It's very easy. That astaghfirullah, instead of maybe wishing or praying to Allah to also give him the money to be able to move around, right? Now, your heart will be that. That's hasad. This is how it operates. Why don't me be given this amount of resources, right? Why this person? I wish he or she loses all these that he or she is having. Now, that is hasad. That is wrong. And sometimes people go the extra miles, like the son of Adam did, to go even to fight or even kill because of so much hasad. Now, it is not good. Now, somebody has even 2 wives or more. It operates also like that. And we have seen, as we are speaking right now, there's an incident that one of the wives went ahead to kill the other wife, and also to kill the son of the other wife too. Have you heard about that before? Yes. That's all this that has it now. But what normally we can do is that, oh Allah, I pray that you grant me that which you have granted this brother or sister, or even better than that. This we call al-ghibta. Now, you envy him But with this, we don't call it envy. We call it the love, the willingness, and the prayer to have similar things or even better. Now, so here you are happy for the brother or the sister, but not upset because of what Allah has given you. Are you upset with him or with Allah? Because Allah is the giver. Allah is the giver. Who are Razak, true or false? That's true. So why do you frown on what Allah has given someone else? Like you are challenging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That astaghfirullah is like you are saying the ruling of Allah is not what? That is what you should have. That is what you should have. That's what you are supposed to have now. Well, bughd. Well, bughd. Bughd, how do we translate bughd? Put on your Arabic caps now. Well, bughd. Now, bughd. That is, we call it acrimony. Acrimony. Al-bughd, you have, there's a feeling, it's like hatred also. But normally it is hidden right here. Hidden that, like a grudge, contempt. You can say grudge, contempt also now, but it's more of a grudge or acrimony. It is not good too. It's not good. That is one thing that, inshallah, it's very difficult to abstain from. But if you can, you'll be one of the best of people. Now, there was a time when the companions, they were sitting down, and our Rasul said that the person who will come to you, who will come onto us, it belongs to Al-Jannah. So Umar and others, Abdullah bin Amr bin As, he was among the companions. This is his hadith. It was popular with him. And then he said that they were sitting down, and then they were wishing, they were sort of guessing, who is there, who is better, whose Al-Jannah has been guaranteed by Rasulullah, and the first person who comes to us. Then all of a sudden, a man came onto them. Ordinary person, he came to see it, and then Abdullah bin Amr bin As said that, MashaAllah, this is it. I'm going to follow this person, to find out what earned him that privilege of being Al-Jannah. So he said, he went to the person, the brother, and he said that I need to pass. Could you allow me to pass the night with you and be with you? He said, come over, come have a night over with me. And it happened. I'm putting it in a nutshell. It happened. So as the night draws on after sleep, and then Abdullah bin As was observing very well, as if the brother will get up to make tahajjud, for example, because tahajjud, we know the merits and virtues of tahajjud. He did none of those. Now, so he was surprised. Is that it? What is it? If you read the Sahaba, the biographies of the Sahaba, watch out. There are two phrases. Kana sawaman qawaman. Sawaman qawaman. These two fast a lot and then make tahajjud a lot. This is a common feature with all the Sahabas. Now, so but here is this man guaranteed Al-Jannah, and also did not see something, that kind of thing coming from him. So he confronted me and said that, what is it that you do that is I did not see? Because this is what our Rasul has said about you, and you fit into that description. And he said to Ibn Amr ibn As, what you saw is what you saw. There isn't anything extra that I do. But one thing that is my trademark, that is, each time I go to bed, I make sure that I had no grudge against anybody before I go to sleep. Each time. Before I go to sleep, I make sure that I had no hatred against Adam. I have no against nothing. Any creature. He sleeps with a sound heart. That's what he has been doing. So he said that, mashallah, there's no wonder. This is what we cannot do. This is what we are struggling to do. And then Umar ibn Khattab himself, radiallahu anhu, has said that, Hasibu anfusakum qabla an tuhasabu. What does it mean? You have to account, you have to judge yourself very well before you are judged. If you keep judging yourself, it becomes easy when you appear before the Supreme Court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where Allah himself is the supreme judge, where no corruption will prevail, no corruption can rear its ugly head, no bribery taking, no injustice. All the right balance will be placed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why you need the thawab, the reward of the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all the hearts shall be judged. And that's why you want your hearts to be what? Thoroughly purified from all vestiges of what? Of ostentation, pomposity, and pride, and acrimony, and grudges. So this grudge is very well. So Umar ibn Khattab is saying that before you come to the day of judgment, make sure that you are free from all these destructive elements. Now, so grudge, being away, staying away from grudge, keeping a distance from it, abstinence from it is one of the best qualities that can put every individual ahead. We may come to the Salah, we may do Zakat, Hajj, and everything, but we still may carry that grudge again first. Now, that is why our Rasul again says in another hadith, Nisfu Shaban, when people think that it's a celebration, there's no celebration in Nisfu Shaban. But our Rasul has said that Nisfu Shaban, Rasul said, Yakfirullah li jami' khalqihi ila mushrik wal mushahid. He forgives Nisfu Shaban, the 15th of Shaban, the middle of Shaban. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives all his servants except the al-mushrik, the polytheists or idolaters, and then mushahid, the person who has grudge in his heart. Mushahid, he has grudge in his heart. That's what we call bughd here. Al-bughd, alladhi yabghud an-nas. So that's mushahid. So if you are able to stay away from grudge, you are clean. So like he was saying, those around the Sahaba, they were doing very good, but they were all struggling with what? That al-bughd. So that's the advice of Umar ibn Khattab, and that is one thing that we have to compete for. If you are competing for this, mashallah, you are on the sure path to securing the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what we call al-bughd. Now, وَرُوْيَةُ الْفَضْلِ عَلَى الْغَيْرِ وَرُوْيَةُ الْفَضْلِ عَلَى الْغَيْرِ. Here, some of you have expressed this already. Well, رُوْيَةُ الْفَضْلِ عَلَى الْغَيْرِ وَرُوْيَةُ الْفَضْلِ عَلى الْغَيْرِ. This is technical. Now, brother has said that to be impressed with yourself. This is where it actually works very well. To be impressed with yourself, to look at yourself and actually feel that you are better than other than you, or you are better than all else. Or you look at yourself, what you have, and what have you? What you have, your make, your possessions, your background. You look at all these things, you add them together, and you feel that no, nobody else is like me. I am better than all else. That feeling is haram. So it makes you begin to belittle others and then despise them. But if you can feel for the poor, that the poor are human beings, the poor are creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the poor should be uplifted. If you have this type of feelings, then you are okay. But when you look at yourself and then you feel you are the best, and then you trample upon other people, then of course it becomes haram. That is waruyatul fadli al ghair wal hams wal lams. Wal hams wal lams, we had explained it already. It is being repeated here. We said wal hams is that when you are slandering someone and then the person shows up, then you say that this is the person. For example, you make ishara, this is the person that you are slandering. It's here, so you should what? Stop talking about him. You should stop what? Slandering him. And actually, sometimes you use your hand to draw attention that this person is here. No, stop. Don't talk about him, because he's here. You will hear what you are saying. Now, that is wal hams wal lams. That is exactly what Humaza forbids. Now, Now, well, hams will be when actually you say he is here. No. Hams when you touch, and then the lamb goes to cow. That is he is here. He is here. Now, both actually they are intertwined. Now, but most cases one takes precedence over other. The one that takes precedence in what? Saying the speech is what? The lambs. And then the hams will be when actually you are talking about the person. No, he's here right now, do not come. Let us maybe just alert us so that we should stop backbiting him. They are both on the same page. But and then Hamas, most of the time, he is connected with what? Spreading also the slander, the calumny. When Allah says that Hamazi Mashayim bin Namim, Hamazi is full of slandering, and then Mashayim bin Namim, he just broadcasts the slandering also. But both of them are intertwined. So we have when Allah says that well Humaza and Lumaza, what? Go betide every slanderer and then backbiter. Yes. First is slanderer and then backbiter. Well, Humaza and Lumaza, you find that they translate what? Humaza is to every slanderer and then backbiter. Now, so they actually they run shoulder to shoulder. They run parallel. Except that when in tight situations, when somebody honor is at stake, and then he comes to find out, meet the occasion whereby he's being talked about. Sometimes you don't want to what? You want to continue. You have to devise a mechanism by which you do what? That's right. And that's what happens now. So both work the same way, but especially except that lambs is more but both enters each territory. Both enters each one's what? Territory. Now, inshallah. Okay. Ruya. What is ruya? Seeing. That's masdar. What is the verb out of ruya? Ra'a. Madi. Wal mudari'a. Yara. طيب. ورويا. طيب. That is to see. So ruya is what? Is the masdar. Seeing or verbal now, the gerund, right? Seeing. Al-Fadl. What is Al-Fadl? Preference of what? Fadl. Fadl min Allah. وماذا هو الفضل؟ ما هو ذاك الفضل؟ فضل من الله. It's a فضل من Allah. That's correct. هذا من فضل ربي. Meaning, It's a favor, blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or bounty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ru'yatul fadl, seeing the blessing, the favor, the bounty that Allah has blessed with you. You see, look at it, right? Alal ghair. Ghair means ghair anta, not you. Others. Right? Alal ghair. So when you do that, this is what the Fadl Amar is so. I mean, accumulations and all these things just for you and not for anybody else. When you look at that, then what? You become what? Pompous. You become what? Pompous. You are overtaken by pomposity, pride, and all those destructive elements that we had mentioned before. Now, so that's the breakdown. So ruya, that is seeing, and then the fadl, what? The accumulation, the bounties that you have been blessed with, and then al-ghiri over somebody else. That else will be what? I mean, other than you. It can be whoever else. Now, so that's the breakdown. Are we okay with that? Alhamdulillah. Now, طيب. So we come to well-ujub. Well-ujub. Well-abath. 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 Now, here's abath. How do we classify abath? أفحسبتم أنما خلقناكم عبثا وأنكم إلينا لا ترجعون. Now, abath. Abath is play. Can have play like a joke? No, abath. It's not joke. Now, do you think that we created you for nothing as a play to have fun? As we normally say, it's fun. No, this life is not about fun. It's not about ma khalaqnakum abathan. We don't play you as a joke. So, to take the whole deen as a joke, as abath, no, itself is abath. Itself is wrong. Because Islam is a serious issue. So Allah says that afahasibitum, do you think that afahasibitum annama khalaqnakum abathan, do you think that we created you out of abath as a joke? No. So if you have a sense of abath, it means you can do whatever you like, because it is fun. You have whatever you like, and you are not restricted by the rules of the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abath. That sense, that feeling is haram. So everything is okay for you. Abath. So Allah says that is not how we have created you. أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. You are not going to return back to us? No. So abath is not a way of the al-mukallaf. وَالسُّخُرِيَّةُ istihza, and mockery. وَيَسْخَرُونَ مِنْهُ سَخِرَ اللَّهُ مِنْهُ. Allah subhanahu, those who give of their best, even though they are poor, those who think they are more resourceful, they despise them. If it's an event where donations are being accepted, and then someone comes to give a riyal, even sometimes he hides with the riyal because he's feeling ashamed to give a riyal. And those come to give $100 and things like that, more. Sometimes they make a mockery of those in the Quran. They make mockery of them. So those who make mockery of them, Allah says that Sakhira Allahu minhum. Allah is going to make mockery of them. And then Nabi Nuh alayhi salam also, when he was building the ark, what happens? So then he had warned them, well, Allah will also make mockery of you. Kama taskharuna minna. As you could make a mockery of me. So as-sukhriya is mockery, and then istihza also is the same. They are synonyms. So make a mockery. So to make a mockery of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to make a mockery of the deen is haram. If someone comes to tell you that the verses of the Quran, astaghfirullah azim, are satanic, how do you feel? In his mind, he's making a mockery of Islam. So what is your response? What's your response? Now, are you going to be happy with that? No. Typical statement is what? Utter mockery of the deen. That's what's called as-sukriya. Now, was zina? Yes, help us. This is the easiest part, right? Was zina? Well, adultery. Now, it's both either adultery or fornication. Both are zina. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا zina says in the Quran. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا zina. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا zina. إِنَّهُ كَانَ فَاحِشَةً وَسَاءَ سَبِيلًا. نعم. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا zina. نعم. طيب. وَالنَّظَرُ إِلَى الْأَجْنَبِيَّةِ. وَالنَّظَرُ إِلَى الْأَجْنَبِيَّةِ. وَالنَّظَرُ. How do we just to look? That's another, to look. And the verb from nadar will be nadara, mashallah. Nadara yanzuru. طيب, another. Ila at. طيب. Well, ila can be to or at, but normally when English is concerned, we don't say look to, right? Look to, but in another sense. We look to if you want to emulate or imitate, but look at that is a rare vision. Now, so another ilal ajnabiyya. Ajnabiyya. Now, and we know who they are. They are a lot. You know how is it? Nazul ajnabi haram. Nah, so. Al-Ajnabiyya, like the brother said, Mahram, the foreign lady, we don't know her. Now, we have no blood relationship with her. Now, so we don't look at them. Now, طيب. وَتَلَذُّذُ بِكَلَامِهَا. أَتَلَذُّذُ. من أين أتلذذ؟ نعم. طيب من اللذة. أصله. You are right. No, it's لذة. You said لذيذ, right? لذيذ. طيب. وتلذذ. I mean, so and to be statistically, I like it. Safe. وتلذذ بكلامها. Let's leave that one. Let's come to kalam. What's kalam? Speech. Now. بكلامها. Her speech. طيب. Ma'am, طيب. To talk to that as ajnabiyya. Now. وتلذذ. Let's come back to the تلذذ. بمعنى أن تجد لذة من كلامها. Adam, your opinion is very right. It's good to get pleasure from speaking to her, right? Are we okay? Naam, inshallah. So, since you're okay, we don't have to repeat that one. Unless, of course, if you Abdul Karim can help us repeat that one. Naam. طيب. وأكل أموال الناس بغير طيب نفس. وأكل أموال الناس بغير طيب نفس. وأكل, to eat, to consume. Now, أموال, the wealth. Jamu mal. Amwal, jamu mal. Amwal, wealth. An-nasi. طيب. بغير, without. MashaAllah, very good. طيب. Nafsi. طيب. طيب nafsi. That's right. Without their volition. In other words, I like it. Without their what? Without their consent, without their permission. Now, This is how it happens. What is the scenario? أموال الناس بغير طيب النفس. You enter into somebody's store, right? You consume the property over there. Do you think it's allowed? No. This is possession of other people, and you consume it. You are not allowed to do that, but people do now. So this is haram. Not only that, but somebody has inherited an estate. You are taking charge of that estate, and then you consume it, you misuse it, you embezzle it. Did they allow you? No. Without their consent, without their permission. All these kind of scenarios are haram, and inshallah we shall continue bi'idhnillah ila hadith baqiya wa sallu ala nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. Gotta shake that.